Hello, boys and girls. My name is Lori Presley, and RJ Flugas will be helping us with this day 4 lesson, and we're still comparing fractions, and we're going to compare fractions by multiplying and dividing. So you can take we're trying to see if 2/5 and 6/15 equivalent. So you can multiply by a fraction that equals 1 3/3, and you can go 2 times 3 is 6, and 5 times 3 is 15. And yes, 2/5 is equivalent to 6/15. And you can also divide to see if 6/15 is equivalent to 2/5. And if you divide by a fraction that is equivalent to 1, which is 3/3, you would go 6 divided by 3 is 2, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, so let's try some. What about 2/4 and 4/8? See if these are equivalent by one of these methods, multiply or divide. So let's multiply by a number that's equivalent to 1 to see if 2/4 is actually equivalent to 4/8. So 2 times 2 is 4. Let's see if 4 times 2 is 8. Yes, 4 times 2 is 8. So yes, they're equivalent. Remember, the fraction you're multiplying by has to be equivalent to 1 whole. Let's divide 4/8 divided by a fraction to give us 2/4. 4 divided by what is 2? Be 2. So 2/2. Let's see if 2/2 is our fraction that 4/8 divided by 2 2's to give us 2/4. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Yes. So 2/4 is equal to 4/8. What about 3/6 and 9/18? So let's multiply 3, 6 times a fraction that is equivalent to 1. So 3 times what will give us 9? 3. So we'd have to use 3 on the bottom number for the denominator because it has to be equivalent to 1. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 6 times 3 is 18. And yes, 3/6 and 9/18 is equivalent. So let's do divide. So start with your bigger fraction, which will be 9/18, and divide by a fraction equivalent to 1. See if we would get 3/6. 9 divided by what is 3? It'd be 3. So if we use 3 on the top number, we're going to use 3 on the bottom number. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Yes. 3/6 is equal to 9/18. Okay, so let's see if you can do this one. 5/10 and 10/20. Now, you can either multiply or divide to see if 5/10 and 10/20 is equivalent. Let's multiply. So 5 times what will give us 10? Be 2. So if we use 2 for the numerator, we have to use 2 as the denominator because the fraction that you're multiplying by has to be equivalent to 1. So 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 times 2 is 20. Yes, they're equivalent. Or you could have divided. You could have went 10/20 divided by a fraction to give us 5/10. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay, what about 2/6 and 8/24? Now I'm going to pause and see if you can figure out if 2/6 and 8/24 is equivalent by one of these methods, multiply or divide. Okay, coming back to me. So 2/6 times a fraction equivalent to 1 would equal 8/24. 2 times what is 8? 4. 6 times what is 24? 4. Yes, they're equivalent. Sometimes you're given a fraction, like maybe 2/4, and it's set up like 2/4 is equal to what over 8, and your numerator is missing. You have to find a number that would go in the numerator to make 2/4 equals whatever numerator over 8 be equivalent, the same. So then all you'd have to do is multiply. So you would go 2/4 times something over 8. You'd multiply 4 times what will give me 8, 2. So whatever you multiply the bottom number and denominator by, you'd have to multiply the numerator by it. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 2 is 4. So in order to find this numerator, you would have had to multiply a fraction that's equivalent to 1, which is 2 2s. So your answer is 4/8. So multiplying and dividing by a fraction that is equivalent to 1 whole, would help us find an equivalent fraction also. Hope you have a great day, boys and girls.